Good day. My name is Nicholas McIntosh, and this is my good bad presentation design. I don't believe it's the intention of any designer to create a website with bad visual, uninteresting content, or one that is difficult to use, but it does happen. Throughout this presentation, I will look at 3 websites that goes from preschool to kindergarten, and my learning platform will be usability and accessibility. Now, let's go ahead and look at these websites. First of all, let's load the Starfall website. Now, this is a Starfall website. Now, what we must realize here, it has good accessibility because I did not have to use any upgrading or any downloading of plugins nor change of my setting for it to be loaded quickly. Neither did I had to use any other platforms, cross browser or anything. It was just compatible with what I have. And if I should take you back to the next website, we will realize that my second website, it also carries the same usability, accessibility, which was easily loaded, and I did not have to do any additional plugin or anything. Now let's get back to the Starfall one. Now what I realized happened with the Starfalls, it's a good website based on my understanding and the criteria I'm using, because one, it has navigational links which takes us to different aspects of the site. And if you look on each site you go, each page you go, the child is able to select what he or she wants to do, which is a plus for the site. Now the child also has the ability to exit out of the site if they so chooses. Now if we should continue, also a good plus for it, the site also have main index button which always take me back to the main index page. Now if you go to this page here and click on another, let's say the letter H as we did, we'll realize that the site also have the same X, and the site teaches the child the pronunciation. If we scroll down, unnecessary information that does not relate to the child if the child is not interested, but it's there. All the 8 sounds which a child needs to know, and other words relating to the 8 sounds. Now a good thing again, the site also has directional arrows that shows the child what to do. These are good navigational skills. And if the child does not get what happens on the previous page and need to go back, it also caters for that. Similar to my next website, it also has good navigational skills. Let me exit this, sorry about that. It also has good navigational skills when the child is allowed to go to any option he or she chooses. Now if the child wants to go to games, they click on games, there are games loading. If the child wants to go to back to the home page, it's always there regardless of where the child goes. Good navigational design. Now let's get back to game. Now we could also realize that the child could go to different aspects that he wants to go. 1, 2, 3, there it is, which is good thing. Now let's look at the layout. If we look at different pages that we go through here, we realize that we always have the selection at the top, selection to the left, and then a little advertisement on this page to the right about codes. Now the difference with the first website here is that if we look at the main index, it always looks like this with the navigational link of selection to the left. But if we go to other pages, what we realize happening is that every other introductory pages follow this layout, which means that it has a list of things where the child should choose from and all the other activities of their choice. There it is. Now if we also look on this page again, the graphics or the imagery, you would say, is very small, so to speak, which causes the sites to have good accessibility. Back to the next one, if we look at the image, they are very small images, so that accounts for the site to also be easily loaded. Now let's look at one of this learning style, lost letters. Now what we realize is that the site is a good one because it gives the child instruction before he or she starts any form of work. Now let's restart. We are supposed to type the letter C. Now we get score and it rewards the child, which is a good thing. Now let's get back to Starfall. Now if we go to main index with the Starfall, what we should also realize is that the Starfall also teaches the style different things too. Now as it loads, the O sound, different links, and it also teaches the child, exit out of this, the child is free to read a story because it also guides the style, the story. And if we're going to look at the imagery in this story, we're going to realize that the site also has good imagery. Now look at it, all about me. Even look at the color contrast where it's concerned. It's a good one for the child to be able to read. Now look at the interaction comment. Who am I? Now the navigational arrows, it allows the child to select its gender, and there we go.
Boy.
And then it teaches the child the whole pronunciation. Just as if we should go to this one and we might look at stories. What we have different stories. Now let's look at the whole thing of the whole grammar, the whole idea of pronunciation. Let's see what happens. Look at the whole clarity happening, the time they spent to develop this two websites so that the child can be able to follow easily.
Toot and Puddle, You Are My Sunshine by Holly Hobby.
Let's play now.
It was
Let's
morning
look.
in Woodcock
The
Pocket.
child can easily
The sun
follow
was
what is
shining,
happening here.
birds were singing,
Now we have the picture to
blossoms were
complement what is
bursting,
happening. And if
and
the child
Toot
does not
was
want to
moping.
continue, he's
When
free
Puddle
to exit
asked,
out of it.
"What's the matter?"
Let's go to this
Toot
one.
said, "Oh, nothing. I've never seen Toot."
Let's pause that. Let's move to this one. Now we're going back to the main index. And we're also going to look at a storytelling at this one. I'm reading. Now let's say comics. Now if we should choose a lemon girl, there she go loading.
Lemonade Girl.
Now if we start the story, now if we click on each, the
I
pronunciation, listen, the clarity is the content is just clear, precise. It just gets to what
Going
the child needs to learn.
to
And we can exist this if we want. Similar to the other website, which is also additional plus, we can do as we feel. The color, the background, the graphics, they are so good for any child to use. And what we must also realize is that it gives us option. It lets us do what we want to do. We learn at our own pace. It was consistent in what it wants to happen, and the presentation was straight to the point, exactly that any little child would want to learn. The interaction was evident and everything was good as it relates to what was happening here. Now if I should get to my bad site, now let's look at this site. It's loading. I must say it has good accessibility when it comes to loading. I did not have to change the platform for the browser. I did not have to load any plugin, and I did not have to change my site settings, which is a good thing. But now let's look at where we are. We're at resources for preschool, pre-K and kindergarten children. Now if we look at this old website, we will also realize that the first thing is that it's not appealing to kids of that age. Now if we look, the structure of the site is somewhat need to be sorted out, because we have too much of the advertisement taking up what is supposed to be the learning environment. Then also it's filled, the text is too worthy for any child. The introductory screen that the child needs to select from is just simple and plain. The background is just white. Well, it's just plain black and white with few color added to it, so to speak. Now it has navigational button links, which is a good thing for it, I must say. But let's see what happens when we click them. Easily access, very good. But as we go there, we have selection to make, which is a plus for the site. But what does it teach? Let's see now. Now all it shows is a list of things happens for the child to read, and then it asks what can you make with circles, and then I guess it takes you to another link, which is nothing much. I don't see much teaching happening. I don't see the communication that much taking place with the child. And if I should continue and I need to get back to the home page, now that's going to be, I can go back to the home page here, but it's not going to take me directly to where I want it to go. I wanted to get back to preschool. Now I can click this here and I get back to preschool, which is a good thing. But if I should go back here, there is no back button or forward button to take me anywhere to the next page of the site. I will always have to continue with, it's called a dead trap time in. So therefore I have to be using this back button if I need to go other places. The forward button somewhat doesn't activate unless I want to go back to the original pages. Let's look at how it teaches a child. It's ABC. Now if you look at this ABC thing, here we go, click on the letter A. All happens is that an angel comes in for A. It doesn't tell me, like for example, A is for an angel, as though this site in the good presentation, let me get back to it, the main index, let's look at this one, B.
B.
Gives you the pronunciation of B, and there are other parts of it that deals with picture. There's a B to represent the B. Unlike this one, it just give me a plain old letter A and some objects moving around. What if I have no idea what these imagery is? Now I need to go back. I have to press the preschool if I want to, or I keep using the back button. Now these are some flaws. The content needs to be sorted out to make it more appealing for younger children to want to use this site. We also need to focus on the whole idea of its layout, which needs to be redesigned different. Ultimately I think the site is a bad site. It needs to be more appealing for kids to use. It needs to have more navigational links. The content needs to be sorted out. It just needs to be for the age it was intended to. Unlike these sites that guide us and shows the various things we need to do, it teaches us. These are what we need to be happening in our pages. We have total control of what is happening, the interaction, the encouragement, and all the otherness, the accessibility needs to be sorted out on this site. But overall it has some plus, but it needs working. And let us also remember that when we create sites, we do not create them for ourselves, but for users. This was my good and bad presentation. I thank you very much, and I hope you have learned something from it.